One of these trucks can catch fire while you're just sitting at a red light. And it's not the one you'd guess. You're watching Auto Revealed, and these are the 15 trucks quietly destroying their owners' lives, and number 1 will shock you. Number 15, Ram 1500 with the Hurricane Inline 6, 2025. Putting a brand new model on a list like this might feel unfair, but the 2025 Ram 1500's new Hurricane engine is a genuine gamble. Ram retired its proven Hemi 5.8 for an unproven twin-turbo 3.0-liter inline 6, meaning every 2025 buyer is essentially testing a first-generation powertrain with no real truck track record. The engine has shown up in a handful of Jeep models, and forums are already collecting early complaints. Check engine lights, dead batteries, small glitches on trucks with almost no miles. Swapping a simple V8 for a twin-turbo setup also means more components that can fail. 2 turbos, high-pressure fuel systems, extra sensors, and wiring. The Hemi had a decades-long track record. The Hurricane doesn't. Early reports already mentioned back-ordered thermostats and electrical hiccups. Not reassuring for anyone hoping to avoid being first in line for a repair queue. An unproven engine is a gamble. This next truck's redesign lost the steering system entirely. Number 14, Nissan Frontier, 2024 to 2025. Nissan redesigned the Frontier to compete with newer midsize trucks, but the update seems to have come at the cost of quality control. It's not the worst entry on this list, but it's earning a reputation fast for sloppy assembly and a surprising number of early recalls. Some of them are serious. A 2024 recall for a front suspension link that could separate and cause a total loss of steering, and another for a driver's airbag that might not deploy in a crash. 2025 brought more. Backup cameras cutting out entirely, software bugs dimming the daytime running lights, plus owner complaints about interior rattles, cheap trim, and paint that chips easily. This isn't ordinary new model growing pain. It's a pattern that suggests you might spend more time at the service counter than behind the wheel. A redesign gone wrong is bad. This next truck was marketed as the future and still lost a wheel. Number 13, Ford F-150 Lightning, 2022 to 2025. The Lightning was supposed to represent the future of America's best-selling truck, fully electrified. The early years told a rougher story. Plenty of recalls, reliability complaints, and signs it hit the market before it was fully baked. It now trails its gas-powered siblings in the rankings and made Consumer Reports' least reliable list. Owners report significant battery, charging, and electronics failures. NHTSA filings include a major recall for a loose front suspension nut that could cause total steering loss, and another for battery cell defects capable of sparking fires. The real-world fallout has been unnerving. One Lightning veered into a guardrail tied to the steering issue, another lost an entire front wheel assembly after only a few hundred miles, and battery replacements have sidelined trucks for weeks at a time. For a model meant to prove Ford's electric future, these failures land as a real letdown. Losing a wheel is one thing. This next truck can just break on its own, with no warning at all. Number 12, Chevrolet Colorado/GMC Canyon, 2023 to 2025. When GM rolled out the redesigned Colorado and Canyon, they looked like sure hits. Bold styling, a new turbo engine, modern tech. For a lot of early buyers, the experience soured fast into dead batteries, software failures, and mechanical headaches. Consumer Reports gave both trucks rock-bottom predicted reliability marks, near the bottom of the entire market. Owner forums echo that. Brand new trucks refusing to start, batteries failing without warning, infotainment screens going black. GM also had to recall 2023 models over an automatic braking system that could trigger itself for no reason, slamming on the brakes unexpectedly. Paying premium money for a truck that might not start, or that might brake on its own at speed, is a rough trade-off. A truck that brakes on its own is bad. An engine that grinds itself into metal dust is worse, and it's been happening for years. Number 11, Nissan Titan XD with the 5.0-liter Cummins, 2016 to 2019. The Titan XD's Cummins Gladiator 8 was billed as a bridge between half-ton and heavy-duty trucks, backed by Cummins' reputation for durability. Instead, it became one of the more infamous diesel failures of the past decade. The core problem traces back to the Bosch CP4 high-pressure fuel pump. A lawsuit alleged it was never engineered for U.S. diesel fuel and would grind itself apart internally, spreading metal debris through the entire fuel system. Once that happens, injectors, fuel rails, and eventually the whole engine are compromised. Turbo failures and EGR issues piled on top of that. For owners, a CP4 failure often means replacing far more than just the pump. Repair bills commonly run past $10,000, sometimes past $20,000. And some owners say Nissan pointed to contaminated fuel rather than acknowledge the defect. A shredded fuel pump is one kind of disaster. This next truck's disaster is a coolant leak that can turn into an open flame. Number 10, Ram 1500 EcoDiesel 3.0 liters, 2014 to 2019. This engine was pitched as a fuel-sipping alternative to a gas V8, but it carried a hidden flaw: an EGR cooler that owners say was seriously defective. Under enough heat, the cooler can crack and let coolant seep into the intake. Once that coolant turns to vapor, it can ignite, triggering a sudden engine fire. FCA pulled in over 100,000 trucks for repairs in 2019, though a lawsuit claimed the automaker was aware of the problem long before that and handled the recall poorly. The case wrapped up with extended warranty coverage and repayments for owners. Fire wasn't the only risk. The same engines were plagued by failing high-pressure fuel pumps and sensor glitches that caused the truck to stall unexpectedly. And that's not even the scariest failure on this list. This next one shakes itself apart on the highway. Number 9, Jeep Gladiator, 2024 to 2025. The Gladiator looks like nothing else on the road. Wrangler front end, pickup bed out back. But it inherited the Wrangler's reliability baggage, and the premium price makes the letdown sting more. Chief among the complaints, the notorious death wobble. A violent front-end shake that can hit at highway speed. Then there's water intrusion. Fun removable doors and roof panels until they start soaking the cabin. Stellantis added a September 2024 recall on top of that, covering instrument clusters that could go dark entirely, wiping out the speedometer and every gauge. Buyers are paying luxury truck prices for a vehicle that ranks near the bottom for long-term dependability. But at least the Gladiator is still in production. This next truck didn't even get that chance. Number 8, Nissan Titan, final model year 2024. The Cummins-powered Titan XD already made this list earlier for its own fuel pump disaster. But the standard Titan lands here for a completely different reason. It's a truck on its way out the door with real quality concerns attached. Nissan discontinued the Titan after 2024, essentially admitting it couldn't keep up. Early reports on the last units aren't encouraging. Forums describe major 5.6-liter V8 failures showing up with barely any mileage, serious enough to need full engine replacements. Add rough, jerky transmission behavior into the mix and the picture gets worse. Buying the last model year of a discontinued truck means inheriting reliability risk, while support, parts access, and resale value all shrink fast. Now picture that same gamble, except this time it's marketed as the future of trucks. Number 7, Rivian R1T, 2022 to 2025. Rivian sold the R1T as the adventure truck of the electric future. Blistering acceleration, serious off-road capability, and award-winning design. The reality behind that image has been rockier. Consumer Reports named Rivian the least reliable car brand in the country, pointing to the R1T specifically for electrical faults, inconsistent build quality, and full battery pack swaps on trucks that were barely broken in. NHTSA filings pile on more concerns, a highway assist feature tied to a real crash after misreading another vehicle, along with faulty headlights, turn signals, and airbags that might not fire. Software updates can patch some things, but not everything, and service centers remain scarce. When core safety systems like airbags and turn signals are in question, that's not a minor bug. It's a structural weakness in an otherwise promising truck. Rivian at least has an excuse for being new to this. GM doesn't. Number 6, Chevrolet Silverado EV, 2024 to 2025. GM built the Silverado EV to go head-to-head with the F-150 Lightning as its electric flagship. Instead, it's become a case study in launching before the truck was ready. It carries a steep price tag and an unusually long list of early recalls for how few units are even on the road. NHTSA records show poorly insulated wiring in the rear drive unit that can short out and kill power mid-drive, plus a separate recall for seatbelt bolts that weren't torqued properly. A basic assembly miss. There was even a recall because the pedestrian warning chime wasn't loud enough. None of this reads like bad luck. It reads like rushed production, with early adopters effectively paying full price to beta test the vehicle. Rushed production from an established giant like GM is one thing. This next defect has been quietly wrecking engines across millions of America's best-selling trucks and SUVs for over a decade. Number 5, GM trucks with 5.3 liters and 6.2 liters V8s, 2014 to 2025. This one covers a massive share of GM's lineup: Silverado 1500, Sierra 1500, and big SUVs like the Tahoe and Escalade. For over a decade, these engines have used cylinder deactivation to improve fuel economy. But that system is linked to one of GM's most persistent engine defects, the subject of several class actions. The root cause is a valve lifter that sticks or collapses, chewing up the camshaft and sending metal shavings throughout the engine, which typically ends in full engine failure. This isn't a rare fluke. It's a well-documented issue spanning hundreds of thousands of vehicles over many years, and lawsuits argue GM kept selling the engines despite knowing about it. Even with design tweaks, failures are still being reported in newer trucks. Out-of-warranty repairs typically run $3,000 to $8,500, sometimes announced by nothing more than a faint tick before the engine gives out, making it one of the longest-running and costliest defects on the market. A decade-long defect is bad enough. This next truck can just shut itself off in the middle of traffic. Number 4. Ford F-150 PowerBoost Hybrid 2021 to 2025. On paper, the PowerBoost Hybrid should have been a home run. Strong output, better economy, and that widely praised onboard generator. In practice, it's turned into one of Ford's more disappointing reliability stories. Consumer Reports has ranked it the least reliable vehicle in its lineup 3 years running, well below the rest of the F-150 family. Owners describe repeated failures across the hybrid battery, transmission, and the electronics tying it all together. The most alarming symptom is a "stop safely now" warning that can shut the truck down mid-drive, occasionally leaving it stuck and unable to restart. The 10-speed transmission adds rough, unpredictable shifting on top of that. Instead of getting the most advanced version of a proven truck, buyers are paying extra for one of its shakiest powertrains. A great onboard generator doesn't help much if the truck itself won't reliably run. Now imagine that same letdown, except it happens to the one brand nobody expected to fail. Number 3. Toyota Tundra 2022 to 2025. This one is genuinely surprising. Toyota trucks built a reputation over decades as the ones that would basically never quit. That reputation took a real hit with the redesigned 2022 Tundra and its twin-turbo V6, which has racked up enough failures to drag its reliability standing to the bottom of the segment. The biggest blow was a recall covering 2022 to 2024 models after Toyota admitted leftover machining debris inside some engines, which can wreck the main bearings and lead to knocking, seizing, and total engine loss, a severity rarely associated with the brand. Beyond that, owners report glitchy electronics, inconsistent transmission behavior, and interior trim that doesn't hold up well. Buyers who expected classic Toyota dependability are instead facing engine replacements on trucks that are barely broken in. A hard fall for what used to be the gold standard. If even Toyota can fall this far, imagine what a decade-old, unresolved flaw in the country's most popular truck looks like. Number 2. Ford F-150 with EcoBoost V6, 2011 to present. This is the long-running soft spot in America's best-selling truck. EcoBoost engines promised V8 level power with V6 efficiency, but for a huge number of owners, they've turned into a costly, recurring headache built on two flaws: timing chain stretch and carbon buildup. Because the direct injection system sprays fuel straight into the cylinder, intake valves never get rinsed by fuel, so carbon deposits build up over time and choke airflow, causing rough idle misfires and power loss. Worse is the well-known cold start rattle, the sound of a stretched timing chain, common enough that it's become something of a signature EcoBoost trait. Fixing it usually means new chains, phasers, and tensioners, running $3,000 to $5,000 once the warranty's gone. Even with updated parts from Ford, the issue hasn't disappeared, meaning the country's most popular truck still comes with a real asterisk attached. Every entry so far has been a truck that quietly failed its owners. Number 1 didn't fail quietly, it did it on camera, over and over. Number 1. Tesla Cybertruck, 2024 to 2025. No truck in recent memory has been hyped the way the Cybertruck was. Indestructible marketing, sci-fi looks, a stainless steel body meant to look bulletproof. Its first year on the road tells a very different story. A wave of recall, build quality complaints, and safety concerns serious enough to land it at the very top of this list. The recall list alone is striking for such a new vehicle. An accelerator pedal pad that could slip and stick, causing unintended acceleration. Exterior trim panels that could detach at highway speed. Wipers that stopped working. Backup cameras going blank, a faulty tire pressure system. In just over a year on sale, it's collected more than a dozen recalls. For owners, that's meant paying premium pricing to effectively test a vehicle with real safety gaps. A stuck accelerator, failing wipers in bad weather. Panels coming loose are not minor annoyances, they're genuine hazards. Viral clips of owners peeling trim off by hand turned the built-like-a-tank pitch into something of a punchline. Futuristic looks aside, the build quality here is a step backward. What's your truck horror story? Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the content, smash that like button and subscribe for more auto content. Thanks for watching and see you in the next